welcome to the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. And we're doing a review today of Mythwind, and I'm Jared, and with me, like always, is Holly. So today we're looking at the recently released Kickstarter backer game, Mythwind. This is by Brendan McCaskell and Nathan Lige.
We love it so much. He's so excited, and he just wants to get to telling you about the game. That's what it is.
Open Owl Studios. I did a unboxing for this, so check that out on the channel. But we have since played it a lot. We have.
God, how many times have we played it? Probably like 12 times, maybe.
I don't really know.
It's been a lot
at this point. But as soon as we started playing it, we just left it on the table and kept playing season after season.
Yep, just switching up the characters.
The game plays. So if you're unfamiliar with Mythwind, it is a cozy game for the tabletop, cooperative with very little in terms of combat or even points. It's mostly just how to better and live your career as whatever character you're on, building their skill sets up, and improving the village of Mythwind that you've kind of stumbled upon, which is occupied by cute little sprites.
Yeah.
So there's villagers and there's sprites, there's exploration, there's forest cards that you can remove and get benefits and then make room for buildings, which are, little square cards that go in those slots. I will say the production of this is very high. It's so well designed, and not just in terms of gameplay, but in terms of functional storage.
Yes.
Functional. Like, it's not just the kind of tray that lets you pack it up in a nice way. It's the kind of tray where you keep that tray in front of you as you play as that character, because all the bits and bots that you need for your character is nicely arranged.
I haven't seen a lot of games where you actually save the state of the game, but this one does it magically. It's so good.
It's very streamlined. Once you get everything punched out and sorted and you go, oh, all these characters, this is for this character only, this is for that character, that simplifies things. And once you start using that character in the game, there's even a section in the back of your own specific character's rulebook on how to save the state of that player's progress and then put the lid on top so it doesn't move. It's truly, engineering, it's wonderful.
It's great.
The forethought and planning it took to make all of these systems work and interact, and also these tiny systems fit into one standardized kind of tray size so that you get this nice little box.
Yeah.
It's just an all-around impressive package of a game. The artwork is great. The setting is really interesting. And if you like games that tell a story over multiple plays through events and event cards that kind of come out, or adventure cards, that's how this sort of progresses some storyline beneath the day-to-day actions of your characters.
So we look at this like, we're really huge fans of Stardew Valley. I'm a really big fan of just cozy games in general.
Yeah, like video
games. I
games.
really look at this like a cozy game. Because it's got all of the elements, the different characters you can play. You can play a ranger that goes out on expeditions, and if you want a solo playing experience, I really suggest that.
Yep.
Because you've got a giant outspread of his inventory and everything, and he just goes on expeditions, and then he sells stuff when he gets back and things like that. The crafter makes things and sells them.
The farmer has his own polyomino tile, so if you like polyominoes or the idea of farming in board games, like, this is perfect for that. You can be the farmer, you can be the merchant, which I really liked. It's a great character class that just churns out money.
He was killing it on that merchant.
It was a lot of fun.
That was crazy.
It's kind of like you have the ability to manipulate the market of the 4 kinds of goods. I don't remember. And so you can kind of push the price up when you want to sell, and then try to push the price down when you want to buy. And then there's these rival cards, which are other merchants simulated with a card each day that are also trying to sell and affect the market prices of your goods. And it's a blast. If you like that kind of thing, be the merchant.
It's a lot of fun.
You can get the money.
The entire thing is a lot of fun. I didn't play as the merchant. I'm not
numerically.
I'm not sure I can handle that because I have dyscalculia. So, but the others that I played with, I did play with the crafter and the ranger. I have comprehension issues, so the ranger has been a daunting task, but I do like it.
So they do give ratings or stars out of 5 for each character's complexity.
I wonder what this 5-star character is.
I feel like there's probably another character available that we don't have in our copy. For other backers that had additional content. We have the 4 characters: the crafter, the merchant, the farmer, and the ranger. The farmer was rated as a 1, which I understand is pretty straightforward on how that works.
Ranger is a 3.
Although we would agree the ranger might be more of a 4, just because there are a lot of ambiguities in his particular rulebook and try to explain his expeditions.
Intricate.
Yes.
And the way it operates.
And things to follow for him that aren't explicitly clear in some of the rule book, because it'll use the word preparation and cost interchangeably and for the same thing and different outcomes, and we
did eventually figure it out. But it was a lot of trial and error for me.
It shouldn't have taken as much trial and error to actually get to where we fully understood how the Rangers' expeditions were supposed to work.
Especially with both of us reading the book like 12 times each.
Yeah, and there are some downsides, you might say, about Mythwind, and that might be one of them. That some of the specific character classes have less than stellar explanations on certain things. Most of them have the first part of the rulebook very similar, because you're explaining now how each character kind of uses, their day action and the dice workers. But then after that, you have your specific to them, and there's not a whole lot of FAQ or examples or anything past sometimes a 3-sentence description. And if you come into a situation as we were, where there was some conflict or question, and there's really, because of the confusing wording and the limited explanation in some of those rule books, we did have to sort of scour whatever resources online we could find.
Which weren't a lot.
At this point, right?
Right.
So there are some fixes to be had, I think, with the rules and at least clarifying things.
We maybe probably house ruled a couple things because we weren't certain.
Right.
But you don't earn points. So?
Yeah, it's not a game where you can really lose. And so when you feel like, oh, well, we haven't been playing this part right, it's like, okay, well, we'll just kind of do this and fix it. And it's not going to affect the game too much, because
it's just really, I just see it as getting a slower start on that character, honestly.
Yeah. One of the nice things about this, and we were playing it as just 2 players, you can, at the end of a season, switch characters. And that's where we were able to jump between them or continue to work on one of the specific characters we liked and, stuck with it. Like, I was the merchant for a few seasons
I was determined to figure that ranger out.
Although before the ranger, she started as the crafter.
Yes.
And she loved it.
I loved it. He had to talk me into reading the ranger book and trying the ranger.
That's the point I want to make. She loved the crafter so much immediately that...
Listen, anything that I am not panicked to get points, like, I'm there.
Yeah. Cozy game.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of goes at your own speed, and you kind of min-max as much as you can, but really there's no penalty for not min-maxing. It just takes you longer, but you get there in the end. As far as the events, a lot of that, you see a certain number every season because of how the weather cards come out. You're always going to see the 9 or 10 weather cards, and there's a certain number of event icons that trigger you reading a certain number every year. So it's going to take a certain number of seasons for you to get to a certain point in the story.
I'm sorry, I just got a flashback from Into the Unknown.
Oh, yes. So there are some recurring adventure cards that you might see that when you resolve it, it'll go, oh, now, reshuffle this back in. So sometimes you see the same one.
So the problem is when you've been on so many adventures that you've kind of dwindled the stack, and all you've got left is Into the Unknown.
Yeah, which is the name of the recurring card.
Right.
Thankfully, as we proceeded, more of those Into the Unknown cards came into the deck.
So there's variation.
So there's variation, but it's still like one of 4 that are going to continue to repeat in that deck somehow.
Not gonna lie, we cheated at one point and just left it on the bottom of the deck because we wanted to experience other adventure cards.
It's true. Because again, this is a cozy game. This is just about exploring the world of Mythwind, and part of it is I don't want to see the same event card, over and over.
Yeah, that was what I was just like, I was so done with that card.
Yeah. But I think you can tell from our enthusiasm that the gripes that we have with the game are way outweighed by the overall game and overall fun that we had with the game. And it's one that I think we're going to continue playing for a while, and definitely kind of further the events and storyline. And
I'll just give you a perspective. The only reason it's actually in the box right now is because he needed to film an unboxing.
And, we used that too as well. So, yes, did have to pack it up for us to proceed with.
Otherwise, it'd be still laying
channel
there.
Stuff. It's true. It's quite a fun game. It says it's for ages 14 and up, and I think that's primarily because of the complexity of being able to run your own character. Because, if you're helping someone who's young, you have to know the ins and outs of that character to really help them.
Yeah, he had to learn the ranger in and out to be able to help me with the...
And that's where I would say that the difficulty lies for someone under 14. I didn't see much content here that would be inappropriate. It was just the matter of being able to be self-sustaining, because a lot of the actions that you take are simultaneously done. So once everyone's kind of chosen their spot on the main board or where they're going to send their character in the village, then it's, you focus on your little thing and it becomes sort of like a solo experience for part of the round.
And you do have to keep track because, for instance, the merchant has things that they do in the dusk phase. Mm-hmm. Before everybody else goes to town, or like before the ranger does his expedition, that type of thing.
And that's where also a reference, like for the steps of the day given with every character, job and class would be useful. And so I've seen online people have started making some that, are useful in that manner, but I felt like something...
I just used the back of the character book.
A little bit more detailed would have been helpful.
I see.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
For someone who's not like well versed with every step.
Like even when I go through the end of season steps, I still have to open the rule book and like find the right page and make sure I follow all of those steps. But yeah, I think there's overall it's a great game. Mm-hmm. Aside from the early difficulties we had with some of the rules or some of the repetitiveness of some of the events, or not events, but some of the adventure cards. I think it's a solid game. And if you like games where, there's not too much pressure, there's not too much competition, but you're working together to build up something, and there's really no consideration on time. You just kind of do it.
I don't know if anybody's like me, but sometimes I don't want to compete. I just want to solve a puzzle. And I want to do it with other people.
Yeah. And that's kind of how this is. It's cozy. And there's this cool story that's kind of under the whole thing that you're slowly experiencing.
Fix is the MVP.
Yep. One of the sprites you come across. So yeah, the sprites, all the characters and the golems and everyone that you come across are all very charming. And you kind of get that through their dialogue that you read and the images that are provided as well. There's a lot to like and a lot to love. I highly recommend checking it out if what we've described sounds like
anything that's up your alley.
You would like. She mentioned some video games like Stardew Valley or Palia or something like that. If you like those kinds of games but want to bring that experience to the tabletop, this is a very good representation of kind of how those games play. And
very good, yes.
Yeah, you kind of pick which character and which kind of thing that you want to do, and that's what you do. And if you get bored, you switch characters.
And like those cozy games, you can pick your character based on your play style.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain way that I play certain cozy games. There's a character for that.
Right. And I think that's what's cool. It's got a lot, something for everybody.
Yes, yeah, it's very versatile.
Yeah, and again, I don't have the extra content that might be out there, so I could see how more content can easily be added to this game, including new characters
and everything.
So it's definitely, if you like it, there's going to be a lot of content for this. So yeah, I'd say 2 thumbs up. Go for it.
Definitely.
If you've been looking at it and wondering, is it good or should I try it? If you think that you might like it, you probably will. It's a very solid game. I'm definitely going to keep this one around and play through as much as we can. So thanks for watching our review of Mythwind. I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.